Shalom, brothers and sisters in Yahweh. Welcome. It's time for our midweek Bible study, and tonight is Wayyiqra, which is Leviticus. We'll be going over chapters 21 and 22 tonight. So go ahead and grab yourself something to drink, and we'll get started, okay? All right. Yeah, we're only going to do 21 and 22 tonight because if we do 23 has a lot of information in it. I mean, a lot of information in it. And this will be a really long study if we do that. So we'll just go over 21 and 22 tonight. And then I'm going to separate the Sabbath just for 23. Okay, because 23 is very in-depth. It goes over our feast days, which are holidays. Okay? Not Christmas, not Halloween, not Ishtar, Easter. The holidays that Yahweh sets forth for us. Okay? Alright. So, everybody comfortable and ready to go here? Let me get a drink off my water and we'll get going. That's good. All right. Wayyiqra, chapter 21. This is for the priests, okay? And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, no one is to be defiled for the dead among his people, except for his relatives who are nearest to him, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his maiden sister, who is near to him, who has had no husband. For her he is defiled." There's not going to be very many flippy flips tonight, but let's go ahead and flip over to Numbers 19, chapter 19, verse 14, okay? Numbers, good thing it's not very far away. Chapter 19, verse 14, okay? "This is the Torah when a man dies in a tent. All who come into the tent and all who are in the tent are unclean for 7 days." Okay? Alright? So, that connects that together. Chapter 21, verse 4. "A leader does not defile himself among his people to profane himself. They do not make any bald place on their heads, and they do not shave the corners of their beard, and they do not make a cutting in their flesh." Like we talked about before, those are heathen things. Yahweh's, we are set apart people by the Most High. We don't do heathen things. Okay? Verse 6. "They are set apart to their Elohim, and do not profane the name of their Elohim. For they bring the fire offerings of Yahweh, and the bread of their Elohim, and shall be set apart." Now, anybody who watched our Leviticus study, our Wayyiqra study in chapters 10 and 11, you guys know about the strange fire. If you don't know about it, go back and listen to those studies. Chapter 10 and 11 talks about strange fire. Okay? Alright. Verse 7. "They do not take a woman who is a whore or a defiled woman, and they do not take a woman put away from her husband, for he is set apart to his Elohim." So if you're a priest, you can't have any of them women. None of those women that are defiled or whores or any of that, okay? Can't have one as a wife. Verse 8. "And you shall set him apart For he brings the bread of your Elohim. He is set apart for you. For I, Yahweh, setting you apart, am set apart, holy. Okay? Making us holy, and he is holy. Verse 9. And when the daughter of any priest profanes herself by whoring, she profanes her father. She is burned with fire. And the high priest among his brothers, on whose head the anointing oil was poured, and who is ordained to wear the garments, does not unbind his head, nor tear his garments, nor come near any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or his mother, nor go out of the set-apart place, nor profane the set-apart place of his Elohim, for the sign of dedication of the anointing oil of his Elohim is upon him. I am Yahweh. Okay? So because the priests are anointed by the Elohim and set apart, they can't be having anything to do with dead people, because that's uncleanness, and it would make them so that they were unclean, and that can't be, because they're set apart to the Elohim. Verse 13, and let him take a wife in her maidenhood, a widow, or one put away, or a defiled woman, or a whore. These he does not take, but a maiden of his own people he does take as a wife. So they have to have their wife has to be of the tribe of Levi, okay? And they can't be defiled. They have to be pure in their womanhood. We'll put it that way. And he does not profane his offspring among his people, for I am Yahweh, who sets him apart. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to Aaron, saying, no man of your offspring throughout their generations who has any defect is to draw near to bring the bread of his Elohim. All right, let's think about this one for a minute. You can't have an offering that has a defect. No limping or gaping wounds or birth defects or any of that can be on an animal that's being given to the Most High as an offering, because Yahweh is perfect, and thus the offerings have to be perfect too. And right here it shows that no man can be a priest who has a defect, because they also have to be perfect. You know, not perfect in their humanism, but perfect in their beings. They can't have like missing arms and legs and defects and like lepers and stuff like that. Verse 18, for any man who has a defect is not to draw near, a man blind, or one lame, or disfigured, or deformed, a man who has a broken foot, or broken hand, or is a hunchback, or a dwarf, or a man who has a defect in his eye, or eczema, or scab, or is a eunuch. No man among the offspring of Aaron the priest who has a defect is to come near to bring the offerings made by fire to Yahweh. He has a defect. He does not come near to bring the bread of his Elohim. He does not eat the bread of his Elohim, both the most set apart and the set apart. Only he does not go near the veil or approach the slaughter place. Hang on a second. Okay, hang on. Put the brakes on. I misread. Let's start on verse 22 again. Okay? He does eat the bread of his Elohim, both the most set apart and the set apart. So disregard the part about he can't eat it. He can. He's okay to eat it, just not to bring it to Elohim. Verse 23, only he does not go near the veil or approach the slaughter place, because he has a defect, lest he profanes my set-apart places. For I am Yahweh, who sets them apart. Thus Moshe spoke to Aaron and his sons, and to all the children of Israel. Sorry that I misread that, gang. I was going over it and I just misread it, but we got it straight now, okay? Chapter 22, this is also for the priests. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, that they separate themselves from the set-apart offerings of the children of Israel, and that they do not profane my set-apart name in what they set apart to me. I am Yahweh. Say to them, any man of all your offspring throughout your generations who draws near the set-apart offerings, which the children of Israel set apart to Yahweh, while he has uncleanness upon him, that being shall be cut off from me, shall be cut off before me. I am Yahweh. Any man of the offspring of Aaron who is a leper or has a discharge does not eat the set-apart offerings until he is clean. And whoever touches what is rendered unclean by a being or a man who has had an emission of semen, or a man who touches any swarming creature by which he would be made unclean, or any being by whom he would become unclean, even any of his uncleanness. The being who has touched it shall be unclean until evening, and does not eat the set-apart offerings, but shall bathe his body in water, purification, remember? And when the sun goes down, he shall be clean, and afterward eat the set-apart offerings, because it is his food. He does not eat that which dies, or is torn by beasts, becoming unclean by it. I am Yahweh. And they shall guard my charge, lest they bear sin for it, and die thereby, when they profane it. I, Yahweh, set them apart. And no stranger eats the set-apart offering. A sojourner with the priest, or a hired servant, does not eat the set-apart offering. But when the priest buys a being with his silver, he does eat of it, and one who is born in his house does eat his food. And when a priest's daughter is married to a stranger, she does not eat of the set-apart offerings. But when a priest's daughter is a widow, or put away, or has no child, and has returned to her father's house as in her youth, she does eat her father's food, but no stranger eats of it. And when a man eats the set-apart offering by mistake, then he shall give a set-apart offering to the priest, and add 1/5 to it. Seems like it might be kind of a hard thing to do by mistake. Verse 15, and let the priests not profane the set-apart offerings of the children of Israel, which they lift up to Yahweh, or allow them to bear the crookedness of trespass when they eat their set-apart offerings. For I am Yahweh, who sets them apart. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, and to all the children of Israel. Who's all the children of Israel? All of us. Everybody who is a believer, everyone who is a follower, we're all children of Israel through the blood of Yehoshua, Messiah. Okay, we've been grafted into the tree. I know we keep talking about that, but it's really important that we know that. Excuse me. Alright, verse 18, speak to Aaron and his sons, and to all the children of Israel, and say to them, any man of the house of Israel, or of the strangers in Israel, who brings his offering for any of his vows, or for any of his voluntary offerings, which they bring to Yahweh as an ascending offering. For your acceptance is a male, a perfect one from the cattle, from the sheep, or from the goats. Whatever has a defect you do not bring, for it is not acceptable for you, only the perfect ones. And when a man brings a slaughtering of peace offerings to Yahweh to complete a vow, or a voluntary offering from the cattle or the sheep, it is to be perfect, to be accepted. Let there be no defect in it. Those blind, or broken, or cut, or having an ulcer, or eczema, or scabs, you do not bring to Yahweh, nor make an offering by fire of them on the slaughter place to Yahweh. Got to be perfect. As for a bull or a lamb that has any limb deformation or dwarfed, you do prepare as a voluntary offering, but for a vow it is not accepted. Do not bring to Yahweh what is bruised, or crushed, or torn, or cut, nor do it in your land. And from a son of a stranger's hand you do not bring any of these as the bread of your Elohim, for their corruption is in them, and defects are in them. They are not acceptable for you. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, when a bull, or a sheep, or a goat is born, it shall be 7 days with its mother, and from the 8th day and thereafter it is acceptable as an offering made by fire to Yahweh after 8 days. Remember, 8 days circumcision for a child? Okay. Verse 28, but do not slay a cow or a sheep and its young on the same day. And when you slaughter a slaughtering of thanksgiving to Yahweh, slaughter it for your acceptance. It is eaten that same day. Leave none of it till morning. I am Yahweh. And you shall guard my commands and do them. I am Yahweh. And do not profane my set-apart name. And I shall be set apart among the children of Israel. I am Yahweh, who sets you apart, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh. Okay? And that's 21 and 22. Alright, like I said, 23 we're saving for Shabbat, because it's worthy of being done on Shabbat. Okay, it explains all of our feast days, our holidays, and how we're to go about doing it. And it's kind of confusing the first couple of times that you go through it, but I'm going to try to explain it to where it makes sense, and you'll have references, and maybe it'll help everyone that has never performed the feasts to be able to perform them, because it is forever. It says for all generations, forever, that we're supposed to be doing all these things. Okay, so I hope that you guys enjoyed the study tonight. I know it's a short one. I'm not yanking on your ear. I hope you're learning something. Anything given over to the Most High has to be perfect. Talks about how the priests have to be set apart, not defile themselves with nastiness, because Yahweh is set apart, and those are His ordained priests. Alright, gang. Well, that's it for tonight. Like I said, go on back to chapters 10 and 11 in Wayyiqra, and look through that, and you'll understand what strange fire is. Okay? Because we go into that. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Tomorrow night, Thursday, we'll be having our next study in Jubilees. So stay tuned for that. And y'all have a great night. May Yah bless each and every one of you. We'll see you later. Shalom.